everyone, it's Amanda and Monica Arlumi, and we are here today with a new design called O.W.L. It is by our great friend Eddie, Souls Provider on Instagram. O.W.L stands for 3 different words. Each letter means a different word. So it means obsessed with love. Even though my favorite animals are owls, this means 3 different words, and we think it is such a sweet meaning for this gorgeous bracelet. Eddie's Instagram, Souls Provider, is right here. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is his rendition for O.W.L. I love his colors on it. Here is all of his different gorgeous inventions, designs, whatever you want to call them. He is so inventive. Here is one of our favorite bracelets of the moment, Hopes and Dreams, by our dear friend Suze from Crazy Just Might Work. And Souls Provider, he is so sweet to everyone, and you could not meet a nicer guy. So today, for the colors, we are going to be using 3 different colors instead of using these. For where I use the limited edition white, we're going to be using the baby pink silk. Where I use the galaxy bands here, we're going to be using the blue metallic. And where I use the silver, we're going to be using the burgundy sweets. Another thing, this is a hook only bracelet, so you will need a hook. You will need a double-ended hook. I had to think about if I said hook only. You will need a double-ended hook for this. So go get your bands ready and your hook, and you will need a C-clip for the end. And come right back. We are going to start it with a traditional 6-band setup, which I'm going to show you now. It is just a cat band, which I'm using the baby pink silks. You have a cat band, and then you pull a new band through it, and you pick up one end of the cat band and put it back on the hook. Should look like that. Now you're going to grab another baby pink and pull both of these onto this new band. Now if you kept them in the correct order, you're going to be pulling the other band, not the cat band, but the other band that you have on there, and putting it back onto the hook. It should look like this, and we're going to scoot it on down to the other end. Now I know I'm left-handed, but it doesn't really matter as long as you can look and see where the bands are placed. I just took that one band off of this end that still has the other end of the cat band off, and I'm putting that other end of the cat band back onto the hook, and I put the other end that I took off at the beginning back on. I'm grabbing another silks pink, and I'm pulling these 2, which one is the cat band and this one's the single band, onto this new band just like we did before. And we're going to put this one that's not the cat band back onto the hook and replace the other end. So we have 6 bands on the hook, and this is why it's called the 6-band configuration. Now this next setup, or this next part, is what you're going to have to do the exact same way every single time. So here in the middle we have 2 bands. You're going to crisscross them. Now, whichever way you start crisscrossing them, you should crisscross them that way each time. Whether you go from the right or whether you go from the left, it doesn't matter, but you want to keep it uniformed. I'm going to start from the left just because I'm left-handed, and it's easier for me to remember that way. So now I'm going to grab my second color, which is the blue metallic, and I'm going to grab these 3 bands here and making sure that middle stays crisscrossed. So 1, 2, and 3. And while I still have my hands on this, I'm going to pull back up onto the hook, the third one and the first one, making sure that they stay in the correct order. So yours should look like that right now. Now we're going to scoot it on back down to the other end. And to make sure that those bands, those pink bands, stay crisscross, I like to hold on to them on the one side. Now I'm going to pick up these three from the opposite. And remember, I'm going to put back the third and the first. And then this pink came out of order, so I'm just going to put it on the opposite side of that blue. They like to get out of order, those 300 packs, but they're just so pretty. They're sticky and they're pretty. Oh, come on. Okay. That's how it should look now. Sorry about that. So now that we have these two here in the middle, they're just high up like that because I pulled them up. We're going to crisscross these as well. Now, like I said with this one, you're going to do it the same side or the same way each time. These you're going to do the same way each time as well. So I'm also going to pull from the left and crisscross. And with these, you're going to need to make sure they're not just going to crisscross, but they're going to crisscross and go on the other side of that pink. Remember how they were right here in the middle? Now they're on either side of those pink bands. And this is going to be very difficult to keep on the opposite sides of the pink, but it's very important that they stay on those sides. So now you're going to grab your third color. Mine is the Burgundy Sweets. And I'm going to be pulling these three last bands onto the burgundy. So it's going to be the 2 blue and the 1 pink in the middle. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, what we're going to put back on the hook is this very first blue band. That's all you're putting back on the hook. Those other two are staying down. Now you're going to scoot it on down to the other end. Trying to make sure that that one blue stays crisscross over the pink. And now I'm grabbing another burgundy. And I'm going to pull these 3 bands over. So blue, pink, and then blue again. And then you're going to put that first blue back onto the hook. And put the other end of that burgundy back on. Now we're going back to our silks pink. And this time we are going to pull the 4 bands right here. So you're going to pull all of these onto this pink band. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you're going to put back onto the hook are the 2 red bands. So 1, 2. So if you're using the same colors instead of using different colors, like if you're making a monochromatic one, it would be the first and the third band. But if you're using the 3 colors, it will be the the band that you just placed on there. All right, now we're going to go back to the other end. And we're going to add another pink silks. Pull all 4 of those bands on. I'm grabbing both of the burgundies and putting them back onto the hook. Now that was all of the sequences for the bracelet. Alright guys, so here we are with the setup after the first series. Now, remember how I said that we had to make sure how we crossed our bands? If you go from the left, you need to make sure when you go from the left, you stay like that and everything. So we went from the left the first time. The second time, we go from the right. So it's going to go left and then right. You need to remember where you go the first time so you know where to go the next, okay? So I went from the left the first time. The second time, you're going to go from the right. To crisscross them. Now I'm going to hold on to the one side so they stay crisscrossed. Grab my blue and I'm going to pull on these bands. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. All right. Now to pick them back up, I'm going to pick up that one and that one. All right. Remember the first time we didn't have the 2 red ones on there. That's how I said the sequence may change this time. All right, I'm just trying to make sure that that one stays where it's supposed to and that they stay crisscrossed. So you picked up those 2 bands and now we're going to move it to the other end. It's all squished up right now. It's kind of difficult with hook onlys and the 300 counts. But I just thought this was such a cute color combo. Alright, so now we are going to grab those 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to pull them back. The 2 bands. So it's going to be the first and the 4th one, or for me it's the 2 pink ones. All right, so this is how yours should look. Now our next step, if you remember, is the crisscross. And remember, like I said, the first one we did was left, so this one is right. So let's crisscross them. And make sure you go over top of that pink in the middle, okay? All right, now we are going to grab our red and you're going to pick up these 3 bands. So 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to pull back that first blue. Now let's scoot it on down. Get another red. Make sure that blue's on the other side of the pink. Pull those 3 over. and replace that one onto the hook. So that's how it should look right now. It is time to do the last step before the next sequence. And this one is where we are going to pull all 4 of these onto the pink silk. And then we are going to replace the first and the third, or the 2 red ones, the 2 last ones that you just put on there. One, 2, 3, and 4. And then you replace the 2 red, or burgundy. Sorry. Alright, so I'm going to do this one more time with you and show you how you need to flip it again. This time you're going to be going from the left, okay? And I'm going to do it without talking. I'm just going to show you how to do it, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Alrighty, so I just crisscross from the left. Alright, so I just did the entire sequence just then. I was trying to stay silent because we have gotten feedback that sometimes talking too much, and we want to listen to our subscribers. So I'm going to go off camera and finish this out, and then I will come back and show you how it looks and how to close it. So I will be right back. Alrighty, so I have gotten this far by crisscrossing the doing every other crisscross, left and right, left and right, left and right. And now I am ready to close it. I have just stopped at the last stitch part down here, and I'm going to close it off with some fishtails with the, or not fishtails, like a fishtail with the Silks Pink. And this is just where I would get ready to start to add the blue. That's where I am at this point. All right. So I'm going to pull all 4 of these onto this Silks Pink, but I'm going to pull back this first pink, that first pink band back onto the hook. All right. We're going to do that same thing on the other end. Just going to move the bands back to the other end of the hook. Going to pull all of the bands, there's 4, and then grab that first band that you took off. All right, now we're going to crisscross these 2 right here in the middle again. We're going to go from the left, making sure that your bands on either side look the same way. And we're going to grab another pink pearl. And we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and grab that first band again. And move it back to the other end. Grab a pink pearl. And go 1, 2, 3. Pick that first band up. Put it back on the hook. And now I'm going to close it out completely. I was just trying to make it look like this end. You can either put a combination of 2 pink pearls, or 2 of the blues, or 2 of the reds, whatever you want, but I want it to be uniform with this end. So I'm going to put 2. You can put 1. 1 is totally fine. I just want it to be a little bit more secure, and you're just putting all of those bands onto those 2 pink silk bands. And then I'm grabbing a large C-clip and hooking it on. And that is all. So thank you for staying with us through the tutorial. As always, if you will please tag and hashtag both Souls Provider and us on Instagram when you make your renditions. You know we will love to see everyone's different takes on the color combos. If you bling it, if you do something different with it, we love seeing how everyone does their take on Souls Provider's amazing design, O.W.L, Obsessed with Love. Don't forget to use our hashtag Loom for a Cause, because you know that that is our passion. If you like this tutorial, please give us a big thumbs up. And if you would like to get notifications for new tutorials getting ready to come out, go hit the subscribe button over there, and you will get notifications through email when we have new tutorials coming up. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, on Pinterest, all social medias. We love you all. Thank you all so much for staying with us through the tutorial, and have a great day. Mwah! Love you.